And it was right here I knew I messed up. All right, it is Sunday morning, and I'm trying to get an early start to the day. My God, it's very a.m. We had a cold front come through last night. Hey, cool in Vegas. Every time there's a weather change, the wind whips through, and we're talking like 40-mile-an-hour gusts, ripping your roof tiles off, knocking everything over, and you just know at the end of that wind, it's either going to be really hot or really cold. And because last week we were in the 90s, and right now it is freezing outside. So I got the garage door closed. I wanted to show you guys, last night I was working on, can you see that? My Primark? That is Vulcan, the Primark of the salamanders. And I think this is my best paint job to date. I'm starting to get, so I got to do some minor touch-ups to them. I got to finish the base and paint. You know, I think I might try to make his hammer glow, but I don't want to mess him up. Like I got him perfect. It's not too much. I have this tendency where it's like I want to be like the professional painters online, and so I keep adding to it and messing it up, but then I got paint over it, and when I'm done, there's 30 coats of paint on it. It looks like crap. So if I could just leave him be. Actually, I got to do his eyes. Actually, looks pretty cool. I don't know. What do you guys think? Maybe I'll put a little wig on him, and he'll identify as. Oh man! All right. So going through the comments this morning, found a couple of things I wanted to talk about. Now, on the video that I posted about being strong as we age, a couple of people that are in our circle are kind of going at it. There's Matt C. and Gravestrong. And they're essentially Matt C., Devil Dog, Semper Fi brother. Consider you a good friend. And Gravestrong, I consider you're definitely a good friend. You know, we talk a lot. And Matt's kind of giving Gravestrong crap for, it looks like, either talking about me or not defending me against something Max said. And I was thinking about, you know, we're in this lifting community, right? And most of us, like, I don't actively participate in gossip. But, you know, as people post videos, I was thinking, like, you know, sometimes somebody will say something and I'll comment on that, and it might be about somebody that, like, whatever. It could be anything random. And I think over the years, have I ever talked crap about somebody, like inadvertently or on purpose? And I would say, yeah, probably. Probably, you know, especially like the guys that go at me hard. I know I made comments about them purposefully. But generally speaking, no, I really try not to. I don't talk about other people's lifting. I don't talk about whether it's good or bad. I have my own opinions. I don't like everybody's style of lifting, and I don't agree with everybody's training. But I generally try to, like, keep that to myself. You know, if like you're doing something I don't like, but you like it, you're passionate about it, I try to be encouraging. You know, hey man, I don't like to offer unsolicited advice. You know, like if I see somebody that's doing something wrong. You know, have I ever said anything about that behind their backs, like to another content creator? Like, hey, you see the way this guy lifts? No, I don't think I do. I think if you scour the internet and try to find comments, I really don't think I talk. I think I'm pretty good about, like, sticking to my principles, where I don't say anything that I wouldn't say to a person's face if they were standing right in front of me. Now, I don't know if, like, I haven't seen any comments about me personally, and this is not accusing anybody of anything or saying you did or didn't. But generally, I'm just saying, as a principle, I'm a man. I don't participate in gossip. You know? I might poke fun of somebody that's like, you know, like Max and he's always harassing me, or some guys. I mean, yeah, sure. But that's a little bit different. I mean, those guys are openly, like, trying to harass people, and it's like, but again, I would say that directly to their face. You know what I mean? And I stand by every word I've ever said. So you can bring up a comment. I stand by every word I've ever said. And if it's something that's like I'm off and I need to be corrected on, I'll stand by that too. I will say this. If you are, this is just for anybody. If you're going to be a friend to my face, but then talk about me negatively behind my back, I would prefer you didn't talk to me at all. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need you to like me. I just need you to be honest with me. I can deal with people that don't like me if they're honest. You know what I mean? Like, if you told me I hate your guts, I can work with you. You know what I mean? Because you're honest. Like, you know, like I work with people like that. You don't like me, I don't like you, but we work together, so we're a team. We got to get through this. And as long as they're straightforward, as long as, you know, I can deal with that. But two-faced people, people that do one thing to you in your face and another behind your back, that's like to me, that's the worst type of person. Like, that's vile, that's evil, that's a person that'll stab you in the back, and I don't care to associate with those people. So I'm just saying, like, if that's you, if you got whatever, if you're gonna be nice to me to my face and say things about me behind my back, just go ahead and just keep talking about me behind my back and stay out of my life. Fair enough. Like, I don't think that's uncontroversial. Right? You know, I don't know. But going through the comments, they're arguing about something that I think I should touch on. And it has nothing to do with gossip. It's about crating your dogs, your animals, while you're away. And I'm reading the comments here, and these two very differing opinions on both sides of the spectrum, and they're both very passionate. Matt, you are obviously against crating animals, and you think that if your dog's out of control, you should train them better. And Gravestrong, he works like, and he crates his dog while he's at work. So, what is my opinion? This is a tough one. Because I convinced my wife to crate our dogs. Now, it does seem cruel, but hear me out. So, I used to have this dog, Wyatt, right? And I would work at a chemical plant, and 14 hours I was gone. Like, this 12-hour shift, hour to work, hour back. And Wyatt, what he would do is he would tear all the blinds down and gnaw on the vertical blinds and just chew up the house. Like, I would literally go to Walmart and buy the cheap $20 disposable blinds and stock them up for the bedroom. We were living in an apartment, so there was like a standard size. I would literally buy them out. And I would come home and replace them, like at least 3 times a week. And I finally figured out what he was doing. While we were gone, he couldn't see out the windows, so he was chewing on the blinds and pulling them down to where he could see out. So I tried raising the blinds and opening them up so he could see out the window, and that kind of worked. But then I came home one day, and it looked like the Russian mafia had turned my apartment looking for the secret microfilm. He had gotten in he ate all the pillows. He tore up the bed. He got in the kitchen. He somehow got the drawers open. Oh my God, it was horrible. When I came home, it was such a mess. And he's just sitting there wagging his tail, looking at me. Hey, Dad. I was shaking so mad. I was so mad. I really was going to kill him. I was going to. And he's just looking at me like happy to see me. I pet him. Good boy, Wyatt. And then I started to, after a long day, started cleaning this apartment up. Oh my God, it was so demoralizing. So I was so frustrated. I was at my wit's end. I went to the vet. I talked to my vet, and I told him, I said, Doc, I thought about killing my dog. That's not good. I love that animal. But I really thought about wringing his neck. And he said, you will crate him. And I'm like, well, you can't leave him locked up for 12 hours. He goes, no, that's perfectly fine. The veterinarian's opinion was they are den animals. You know, they evolved from den animals. And nervous dogs that are really insecure and nervous, especially dogs that you adopt from kennels, or dogs that have issues that you didn't raise them from puppy. Adoption dogs can be really difficult, especially food aggressive ones that have been abused, ones that are insecure. It's really, really difficult to train that out of them. So crating them, I had set up a camera. I just kind of wanted to see, like how he was, and he was fine. He curled up, and just the first night it was a little interesting. He was a little like he paced back and forth, and he was chewing on the cage. And I thought, oh man, it's not going to work. But once he gave up and kind of surrendered to the cage, he was perfectly content. And then after about a week, when I'd get ready for work, he would go right in the kennel and lay down. And matter of fact, I got to the point where I didn't even have to lock it. He would just lay in it. He was just there. I put a blanket over it. His doc told me to make it like a little cave. Make it comfortable and cozy. And I put a nice bed in there. He did chew up the first bed I put in there. But no, he was fine. And my wife didn't want to crate our dogs, and we have that big puppy. He's going to be huge. She likes her large breed dogs. The smallest dog we've had since I've been with Christina is a pit bull, and we've often had Saint Bernards, and he's a Great Pyrenees Saint Bernard mix. He's enormous, and he's one that he'll chew up. He chews up bed. He chews up furniture. He'll chew the bed up, pillows. Like come home, the pillows are destroyed. Like he just really ransacks the house. Again, we set the camera up to see what the dogs are doing, and while the puppy's just gnawing on everything, Bernard's a very insecure dog. I didn't know this. When mom's not home and I'm at work, he just stands at the door and barks incessantly the whole time. So like literally hours, he'll just bark at the door for hours. And it can't be good for him. And I kind of wondered sometimes when I come home and he was just a little weird, off, like he'd been traumatized. Well, now I know. So we started crating them when we were gone. And again, they're perfectly fine. They curl up on their beds and they're chill. Sometimes they'll get up and but then they settle down. And I honestly do think it's a safer way to go. And the way the vet explained it to me is dogs can get into stuff that's bad for them. They could chew on wires, or they can potentially eat something that they'll choke on, or that could be poisonous. And you can take all the precautions of the world, but it's like amazing. Okay, so one day, the puppy, I got sick of him eating my shoes and socks. Like he would eat whatever you left out. So I cleaned the bedroom and I scoured the whole room for everything. There was nothing that he could eat. I was confident of it. All he had was the bed. That's it. No pillows, nothing. He ate the bed. He literally ate a hole through the memory foam mattress. He gnawed on the bed and tore it up. When we came home, there was a giant pile of memory foam. And I'm like, okay, you think of everything. Who would think that, okay, he's going to eat the bed? He ate the bed. That's the only thing he could eat, and he ate it. So now I'm like, I give up. Like, if I get rid of the bed, what's he going to do? Gnaw a hole in the wall and, get in the kid? Yeah. So, yes, we do crate our dogs. And I'm of the opinion that I think it's the better way to go. I really do. I think the dogs are calmer. They're not as stressed out. They just have. It is a long time. It's hard to not feel bad for them. But what we're looking for is like the lesser of two evils. When we work these long shifts and we're gone a long time, like what does the least amount of harm? And honestly, crating them, that's kind of the way to go. If you have a dog that's insecure. And we have two of them. Well, Bernard was a rescue, and he was hard to handle, man. We thought we were gonna have to put him down because he bit a few people. He was super, super aggressive, and I'll tell you right now, if you ever come to our front door and just walk in the house, you are getting mauled. And that's kind of why I keep him, because when I'm working at nights and stuff, I know that the girls are safe. He's great with kids. I know if anybody came in that house, that dog is on them, and you got some problems. But it's also a liability. So, like somebody could press charges if he bits like somebody. And, luckily we've kind of gotten to the point where we've worked with him and we've gotten him less aggressive. So most people that come over, he's perfectly fine with. And we haven't had a problem in a while. But there's just still that, like, every time someone new comes in the house, I'm like, you know what I mean? Like, what if? It just makes me nervous. But I love that dog. We love our animals, man. We have chickens, we got dogs, we got cats, we got turtles, we got fish, we got lizards. Like we love our critters, and we try to take the best care of them. And sometimes I don't know. It's like, there is no right or wrong. So if you disagree with this, by all means, like, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments section, because it is a contentious issue, and people do disagree, and so like the comment, like, you just need to train your dog better. I've had dogs my whole life, and a lot of them and we consider ourselves reasonably good at training dogs. And the ones you get from the rescues, when they have issues that are built in, it is really, really difficult. It's hard to get that out of them, and a lot of people don't have the time and patience required to dedicate to really working with them. It's a full-time job sometimes. So until you get to that point, you got to do what's best for the animal, and that's my, obviously I'm not the authority on it. I'm not an expert. I'm not the dog whisperer. So I don't know, if you got a different opinion, let me know. All right, this next comment is Emeretta Robinson. There's a three-parter. And she writes, I meant to ask whatever happened to the event you mentioned in one of your videos, the one in Vegas on the 27th. That happened. They did a strongman event here in Vegas, and it went really well. They got a really good turnout. I was really sick, though. That was the weekend I was kind of going through it. She goes on to say, you were saying that someone was organizing an event, hoping for a good turnout. I think that was around the same time you mentioned it, in Louisiana, or another competition that was further out. So, around the same time, June, there's two different events. There's the USPA Worlds, Nationals, which is in Buffalo, New York. And then there's WPA, I believe, is in Louisiana. It's Nationals. And I was going to do one or the other, but I don't know. See, because with what's going on with my intestinal issues, I still have not gotten my test results back yet. And I don't want to commit to anything until I figure out what's going on with me. Because even though I'm getting better and I'm training again, I still have that issue. It has not been resolved. So, if it turns out to be something pretty serious and I got to do, it could screw my training up. So right now I'm kind of in limbo. Just holding off until I get my test results back before I make any kind of decision about what I'm going to be doing. And then finally you asked, let's see here. I low-key wonder, how does he prepare for those competitions as well? You're talking about Unknown Strongman in the event he was in. So I don't compete strongman. I watch it, and from what I've seen, strongmen do a lot of like what powerlifters do. They do the bench squat and deadlift. It looks like they spend a lot more time overhead pressing because of the log press and things of that nature. But then they also have the yoke, and they have the farmer's walk, and then they have the stones. So it seems like strongmen have to be way more versatile. So they probably have to train, like powerlifting, when you get down to it, when you get closer to the competition, it's really specific training. You're training for 3 lifts, so you can really hone in on those. Where strongmen, it looks like they pick events from a hat. Like there's a list of events, and they randomly pick from that list of events. Now, I would suggest actually talking to Unknown Strongman. Talk to Bryce. Hit him up, because he's the expert. I don't know. I'm an observer. I'm a fan, but I'm not an expert. I'm just telling you what I've observed so far. So if I'm wrong, please feel free to correct me in the comments. And no disrespect meant if I'm off base. That seems like your training's pretty straightforward when it comes to most things. But yeah, ask him. I'm sure he would love to tell you. All right, this video's getting long enough. I'm gonna spend the day hanging out with the wife and kids. I don't think I'm gonna train today, or if I do, it's not gonna be something super serious. But it's Sunday, family time. Probably means cleaning the house. I love you guys. I will see you on the battlefield. Oh, what do you think of my JoJo shirt? I'm a ask. Pretty bitchin', man. I found an anime store. Another place to spend money I don't have. All right. Deuces.